Hello everyone. Today we are going to start the flux linkages of one conductor in a group of conductors. So just before in the previous classes, we were done with the external flux, that is inductance due to external flux, and inductance due to internal and external flux alone being considered at the end of external flux, and later on inductance of a single phase two wire line. So in today's topic, we are going to consider the flux linkages of one conductor in a group of conductors. So in a group of conductors, if I want to consider, I'll be considering a composite conductor which is made up of strands. So I call this conductors to be the stranded conductors there, where you have many such conductors being stranded, and most of the stranded conductors, whatever the strands that are being there, are said to be in parallel. So one thing which comes to each and everyone is the stranded conductors are equal and identical and sharing the current equally is one important thing, and all the sum of the currents in the conductors is equal to 0. If I want to represent such conductors, yes, if I want to represent such conductors being present there, so I'll be going for this diagram, which is the representation of a group of conductors. The group of conductors generally means it is a composite conductor which is being present there. P is a point which is being present, and each one of this conductor which are representing the strands. I mean, generally the conductors carry currents, and these are the currents which are being carrying in each and every strands that are being present there. So conductor 1, 2, 3, and up to n conductors which are being present there. So these are the conductors that are being present there in one composite conductor. So forming the next basis here is the currents I1, I2, and I3, and the distance of the conductor which is being present there. So I'll be calling the distance D1P, D2P, D3P, and if there are n number of conductors that are being present there, it is DNP. So the conductors 1, 2, 3, n, I mean generally n number of conductors which are being present carry currents which are I1, I2, I3, and IN. Let the distance of the conductor from a point P be D1P, D2P, D3P, and DNP respectively. Now, I want to analyze the flux linkages due to current I1 that is being produced by one of the conductors. So phi 1 P1, so be the flux linkages of conductor 1. So this is conductor 1 which is being present due to its own current I1 due to internal and external flux. The flux beyond point P is excluded. So just because our assumption, and we can generally take the flux beyond point P is excluded for the time being. Moving on to the next one, I have the equations which govern the both the flux linkage that is being present there, which is for the internal flux and also the external flux that is being present there. So this is the inductance. Before doing the inductance, we generally took the current I1, which is the flux linking the coil, and multiplying it by 10 power minus 7. In both the cases, I have taken 10 power minus 7 as the common factor. At the end, the flux of phi 1p, that is phi 1p due to current I1, is given by 2 into 10 power minus 7. So here I can relate it with the one, whatever the one that is being present there in the subscript, it is the current I1. It is due to the current I1 ln of, that is logarithm of d1p divided by r1 dash. So if you recall what is r1 dash, it is 0.7788 times r. So that's the value of fictitious radius that is being present there. So d1p divided by r1 dash, that is being represented by the flux linkages that is being present here due to the current I1 alone. So the flux linkage of conductor 1 due to its own current I1 due to internal and external flux. Okay, so that is being given by phi 1 p1. Next, I want to go ahead with phi 1 P2, that is the current I2. The flux linkage of conductor 1 due to current I2 is equal to the flux produced by I2 between point P and conductor 1. So phi 1 P2, that is being given as 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I2 ln of D2P divided by D12. So that is one thing that is being present here. So phi 1 P2, that is due to the current I2. So that is being represented by 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I2 into ln of D2P divided by D12. So that is being given by the current I2 alone. That is the flux linkage of conductor 1 that is being present there. Next one, if I want to analyze the flux linkage of 1 due to all the currents, that is I1, I2 and I3, if I want to take the sum of it. So I can generally use a summation, the flux linkage phi 1p with conductor 1 due to all the conductors that are being present in the group, but the flux beyond point P in all the cases is neglected. So if I want to take the summation there, that is due to currents I1, I2, I3, I4, I5 up to IN. So these are the currents I1, I2, I3 up to currents IN. I can write it in such a way that it is being represented in the equation that is being present. So R1 dash, the first one is the fictitious radius of the first conductor, that is due to current I1. Next I2. So I'll be having D2P and D12. So D12 is the distance between one of the, yeah, if I have a conductor like this is D1, 2 that is being present there. So D, this is the first one, and this is the second conductor that is being present there. So D2P, so this is the point P, this is D1P, and this is 2 that is being present there. So D2P. So if I want to analyze with respect to this conductor, so I'll be analyzing with respect to D2P and D12. So that is one thing which is there in the equation here. So in a similar manner, we can extend the same analysis for the remaining set of equation also, and we can check it out. So if I want to expand it by the simple logarithmic terms, by using simple logarithmic terms here, I can expand it by the product rule there. So if log AB, you can generally write it as log A into B. So here I have split it as A, and this term is being split up as B. So log A into log AB is given as log A plus log B. So this is being given as each and every term. I can write it in logarithmic expansion. So I can split it up and write it properly. So this is IN ln of DNP. So as I told you in the starting of the derivation itself, the sum of the currents is said to be 0. I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus IN, that would be equal to 0 there. So that is one thing which is being present, and IN which has been, if I want to write IN, so that would be negative of sum of the currents up to the last current. So minus I1 minus of I1 plus I2 plus up to IN minus 1. So that is being present there. So if I want to substitute this here, I want to make a relation between the distances, that is due to the points alone. I can substitute IN by this entire equation that is being present there. So I'll be substituting here. So I'll not substitute it here. So I'll be substituting directly to the point. So I'll be taking the point here into consideration. To the point, I'll be taking the substitution being done here. So next, after substituting the values, so I can expand the values and write it. So later on, after expanding, I can write it to be, so I1 I2 and up to IN, I can just expand it and I can substitute. This is the substitution whatever I have made here. So minus I1 into ln of D1P, and I can express it in terms of DNP. So why I'm expressing this in terms of DNP, I'll be telling you now. So after expressing, I'll be getting in this format. So this is one set of equation, and this is the other set of equation that is being present there. As I already told you, the flux beyond point P is not to be considered, but point P itself is at an infinite distance. So when it is at an infinite distance, we can generally take that the ratio of 1P and NP generally, that's the ratio which is generally unity. So we can say that somewhat around 100 meters, and it will be somewhat around 99.5 or something like that. So that would be the relation that is being present there, d1p d2p. So that is the entire equation will approach unity, so d3p by dnp and so on. So we can generally say from the logarithmic rules, I have ln of 1 that will be equal to 0. Then we can write the above equations by ignoring all these terms being present there to 0. So all these terms are being present there, I can ignore it to 0, and I can restrict the above equation only to this point which is being present there. So this is the final equation what you get for phi 1p, that is due to the currents of all the currents, that is I1, I2 and I3. So we can generally write down the equation as R1 dash equals D11. So R1 dash, I can write this to be D11 that is being present there. It has been expressed in terms of Weber turns per meter. So this is the per meter value which is being present there. D12, D1m that is being present 2 into 10 power minus 7, phi 1p, and later on I can write using the summation. The above equation can be written as, yeah, the above equation using the summation can be written in this format alone. So using the summation 2 into 10 power minus 7, this equation whatever that has been written there, sigma, that is I equals 1, I equals n, II ln of d divided by 1I, that is in terms of Weber turns per meter. All the flux linkages of conductor 1 are included in the above derivation, and this is valid only if the sum of the currents are equal to 0. So this is the condition which I will be specifying it, and the flux linkages are said to be included in conductor 1. So when I say conductor 1, it is a standard conductor. If it has been present there, the sum of the currents will be equal to 0 there. So that is one thing that is being present. So in the next video, we are going to talk about inductance of composite conductors. This forms the basic for the composite conductors that are being present there. So you just remember this notation which has been given, and try to memorize it. Thank you.